the reason I don't want to drive an automatic is because how am I supposed to eat a sandwich and drive at the same fucking time?
Yeah. Query theories.
Okay. On the count of 3 and then pause and then go.
What do you...
1, 2, 3. The query theories.
What do you say? Bonjour, everybody, and welcome back to the Query Theories podcast. I wanted to switch it up for a bit. It is myself, P, as always, and Pennygrit.
Hello, here I am.
Hello, there she is. And welcome back to another thrilling episode. Last episode was a bit depressing. Not depressing, it's just a bit more serious than normal. But, you know, you gotta switch it up sometimes.
Yeah, not every episode can be about farts.
Or poo.
Even though there was still poo in it.
There was still poo somehow.
Literally every episode has poo in it.
Honestly, I don't know how we do it. We love it. But anyway, we are back to do some more queries.
Yes, and also we have shout-outs.
Shout-outs. Shout out.
My shout-out is a TikToker.
Okay.
Who goes by the username MyGayFabulous and his name is Zachary. Mm-hmm. And he does dancing on his farm.
Yep.
Often with his sister.
Okay.
And, like, he's really, really good at dancing.
Okay.
Like, top tier dance. Like, someone commented that he used to be a dancer.
Oh, right.
And you can tell. Yeah. Like, it's, like, professional level dancing. Mm-hmm. But, like, he looks like a farmer.
Yeah.
You know? Like, he's got, like, overalls on.
Overall enthusiasm. Yeah.
But also rainbowy.
He is queer.
And he's just got a lot of positive vibes. Mm-hmm. You know, like, when you scroll through the videos, it's like, I am in a better mood than when I started.
See, I like that. That's nice. A lot of TikTok is not filled with all the sunshine and rainbow that I would like it to be.
Yeah.
So I don't know who this person is, but shoot me a link.
I will.
That sounds
because I feel like you would enjoy it.
Yeah, that sounds nice. My shout out I'm a gamer, so I'm gonna shout out games in general.
Games.
They've been keeping me very much entertained. Fuck, man, I play too. I actually started playing a new game called Pal World. Anyone who is a gamer, Pal, yeah.
Okay.
It's a mix between you're not as avid of a game as I am.
No.
But anyone who is, it's a mix between Pokemon, guns, Ark, and a slight bit of Conan Exiles. It's a fucking fabulous game. I'm loving it currently. It might get better, it might get worse. But my shout out, I guess, would be Pal World. Okay. Not sponsored, please sponsor if you can.
And is it called Pal because they're pals?
Yeah, they're called pals.
Okay.
But the reason I call it that says Pokemon is because you capture these pals in a bowl and then you throw them out to fight other pals and capture those pals.
Okay, very Pokemon-y.
Like Pokemon.
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my shout out. I don't actually have any... my shout down, if I had to have one, is fucking traffic. Okay. Roadworks.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's my shout down. Fucking roadworks in every corner of everywhere I drive. I live in a small town, but somehow every street seems to have roadworks constantly. Where I
live, everyone seems to be throwing out a mattress.
What? Really?
Like every time I turn a corner, there's another mattress with like a poo on it.
Here we go again. So I guess your shout down is
mattresses on the ground.
Or fly tipping, as they call
it. My shout down is people who just throw mattresses on the street.
Don't do it.
Yeah, stop it.
Get some help.
Yeah, put it in the dump.
Yeah. Is there a local dump from where you are?
Probably.
I mean, we've got one up the road, but...
Or if you're not going to throw it in the dump, cut it into little pieces.
Is that easy to do?
No.
Because of the springs?
No, it's not easy. Nothing worth doing is easy.
True. So I guess that's why they throw it out. Don't fly tip people. Don't be those guys.
For foreign people, that means dumping your stuff.
Just publicly.
Just wherever.
Yeah. I don't know why it's called fly tipping.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Like
maybe it's on the fly. Kind of.
Yeah,
maybe it's
I guess.
Like a slang. Like, oh, you're just on the go and you're like, oh shit, I've got this mattress that I can't be bothered.
Let me just tip out.
Throw it. Yeah, maybe. Well, that's our shout outs and shout down. My shout down anyway today.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like during the podcast, I shout down lots of things.
Just naturally.
Yeah, so I don't need a shout down category.
Right. So today, as always, we do have a query.
I have a query. From
the main dairy.
I'm a dairy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You could be a dairy too.
You can be. You can join us. Join us. So anyway.
Go on.
My question today is, what is the most embarrassing thing you've ever witnessed?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you want to start first? I feel like you already have something.
I have prepared.
Okay.
So when I was in college, there was a professor who would do like, they had the big auditorium room with the seats, you know, where they're like up on risers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they would do like almost a performance of a lecture.
Sure.
And they had a little microphone on.
Mm-hmm.
And then one time during class, they took a little break. And then while they were gone, I could hear them still, and we could all hear them still.
Oh.
And they were, walking around, making noises, shuffling, muffling.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you heard violent diarrhea.
Oh.
And like groaning.
Oh.
Grunting.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Quite visceral noises.
Yes. And it's like,
Jesus
wow.
Christ.
I know what you sound like on the inside.
Yeah. No, that's miserable.
Yeah. And
it sounds like a gag, like.
It's the most embarrassing thing.
Yeah. And then you come back and everyone knows.
Yeah. No one was like, we heard you poo. Everyone was just like,
is it better to say something, or is it better to like...
Well, it's too late.
Yeah, but would you then go up, say, by the way?
We all know what you sound like when you're having diarrhea.
Like, would that make you... I don't know, that's... See, I feel like I would want to go and tell him, but if no one ever mentions it, I feel like we're all in it together. Like a crime.
We are all in it together.
Yeah, so if he doesn't know, then he'll never know.
It's better he doesn't know.
I feel like it would save his dignity.
People obviously acted like something weird had happened.
Yeah.
But no one called out and said, we know you shit.
Yeah.
We know you did a poo just
We
now.
know you did the worst fucking runniest diarrhea.
Yeah.
Like...
We know you have a medical problem.
That's so sad. It's sad because, like, it's something that everyone has gone through once in their life.
Yeah, but I do it by myself.
Yeah, right? But, it's not like he intentionally did it. Unless he did, then that's fucked.
Maybe he was like, good, I want them all to know what I sound like.
But no, that's I feel bad for him.
I feel like poo is one of the embarrassing things that can happen to you.
Yeah. I feel like weeing yourself would be less embarrassing
and easier to cover up.
Yeah, it's still not great unless you. I mean, you say that, but if people don't fucking drink enough water, then their wee reeks. Right?
Yeah, but I feel like you could excuse yourself and people wouldn't necessarily know.
No, immediately, I guess.
When I was a kid at the beach, I pissed myself and then I just went in the water and I was like, nothing.
Well, no one's gonna fucking know, right?
I had clothes on, though.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But you're a kid.
I acted like I was falling into the water.
Oh, no.
It was a rocky place because it wasn't like a nice sandy beach.
Yeah.
So I was like, oops. I fell with just my lower half in the water.
Oh, how convenient. Oh, geez. How unfortunate for me. So the most embarrassing thing, I think, I had to really think about this, but I feel like it's one of those things where you don't really remember people's embarrassment as much as you remember yours.
Yes.
Right?
After I proposed this question, I realized that. I was like, I know I've witnessed a lot of embarrassing things in my life,
loads.
but I actually don't remember them.
No. And it's funny because, like, if you're out there thinking that, oh God, I'm sure this person and that person remembers that horribly embarrassing thing I did, trust me, no one fucking does.
Yeah, they probably don't.
They don't even, like,
unless it was epic.
Yeah. Like, it must have been either really fucking super memorably embarrassing.
Yeah.
But if it was something like, oh, once upon a time, like, fucking hell, I don't know, did something that I thought at the time was the most embarrassing thing. Trust me, no one fucking gives a shit.
Yeah.
Because
Also, I think when you're young, you're embarrassed easier.
Yeah. Everyone else remembers their own embarrassment over yours. They don't care that you embarrassed yourself. But I think the most embarrassing thing was probably in college. I think yours took place in college as well.
Yeah.
But was it uni college or college?
It was... You would consider it uni college, I
Right.
think.
For me, it was just college. You know what I mean when you're English. So in college, it was a group activity, and one of my friends went to give people a high five. It was one of those classic going to high five. So he went to like several people to just give them a high five. Not a single person clocked him, noticed him. I just spat everywhere. Clocked him or noticed him.
directly into my eyeball.
So sorry. You're sorry. I need to de-saliva. But yeah, not a single person noticed him. And those who even noticed him didn't even go to reciprocate the high five. And I was watching from a distance and I felt so bad because he was like smiling, like, yeah, come on, someone, please.
Yeah.
And his hand was up for a while. And you could see his face just getting absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, those are like the core things that happen that form you as a person.
Yeah, honestly, I saw his heart break. It was like he was all joyful, smiling, and it slowly drained.
So did you high five him?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so you're part of the problem.
Because the thing is, I was quite a distance from him, for
Right,
one.
okay,
And two,
okay.
I didn't want him to know that I'd witnessed this heartbreaking moment.
Yes.
Right? It was kind of like, oh, do I now then go up and high five? Would that make him better? Or...
Sometimes it's best to pretend something didn't happen.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I just did. I was like, but it felt so bad because it's just like, just give the guy a high five.
Yeah, just
like,
give him a little high five.
But I don't think the other people realized that he was trying to go for a high five.
They probably thought he was waving.
Yeah, right? But then surely someone would have waved back, like, oh, hi.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
no,
you'd be like, why is this guy waving anyway? Oh.
But no, that is probably the most, I can remember the most embarrassing thing that I've witnessed. Someone not being given a high five. I don't know if you've been in a situation where you're going for a high five and someone just kind of completely ignores you.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of when someone is like waving and you wave back, but they're waving at someone behind you.
Yeah, and I've had that. I'm sure
Yeah,
we've
I've had
all
that.
been a victim of that. So I had that once with someone who I did know, and they waved, so I, naturally assumed they were waving at me.
Yeah.
Because I know this person, and I was like, oh, hi, like, and then the person behind me laughed, and I turned around, I'm like, oh, shit. Well,
Yeah.
fuck. And then the person who waved, did the initial waving, was like, oh, no, I meant you as well. And I was like, oh, come on. You didn't.
I mean, that was nice of them, though.
Yeah, they went for it, but at the same time, it's kind of like, but I know you didn't. I know you definitely didn't.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice that they went along with it, but it was still kind of sad that I knew the initial
Yes.
wave was never meant for me. I just happened to be there.
It is a bit sad.
Write in with your own embarrassing or someone else's embarrassing stories.
One time, something really embarrassing almost happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
It was a few years ago. I went to Brighton Beach, and I was by myself, and I was like, I'm going to have a little swim.
Yep.
So I had brought a bathing suit, and I went swimming, and I was in there for a while. And then when it was time to come out, I was like, someone's stolen all my fucking clothes.
No.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to have to get, for one thing, I've no train ticket.
Yeah.
Because my train ticket was in my clothes.
Yep.
So I'm going to have to find a way back to the place where I live. And I've got no shoes.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
and I'm in a
barefooted
swimsuit. So I'm going to have to...
swimsuit, yeah.
I'm going to have to, like, sneak on the train in a swimsuit with no shoes on.
Yeah.
And I'm panicking. And then I just look over a little further and my clothes are gone.
So you would have just left without your shit.
Well, I
would have been like,
I
oh no, fucking everything's gone.
truly was like, someone has stolen all my stuff.
But what? Was there valuables with your things?
No.
Oh, so it was just your fucking clothes.
And my train ticket, which would be valuable, I guess in a way.
If someone needed to fucking come in your yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say this is embarrassing, but I just have like a story. I don't know if I've spoken about this before, which I probably have. Those people on the trains who come in with like a fucking rehearsed script. You know, the hi, I know it. I'm sorry to bother everybody, but I'm really hungry, and I always feel so bad.
And they're like trying to get money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had those people who actually give you a little card?
Like what, saying I'm deaf or something? Yes.
Or they give you like, I don't know how to speak English properly or blah, blah, blah. And, they give you a little card and then they come back around. And if you haven't given anything, they just take their card back. And then I always feel so bad. I don't carry cash. Like, I hardly ever carry cash anymore. But I would give them money. Like, I would give them money or food if I had anything. But I don't go into a train expecting someone to ask me for things,
Yeah, I feel like the begging game is probably pretty hard now because a lot of people don't carry cash at all.
Yeah, and it's not like they can whip out a card reader and be like, yeah, no, don't worry, I got you. Like,
also, when I do have cash, it's like a 20, and it's like, I'm not giving you a 20.
Yeah,
That's
it's a large
20.
bill of money, yeah. Like, if someone did come up and was like, oh, I've given people, like, my bottle of water before, like, I've literally bought a bottle of water, someone comes in, oh, I don't have enough, I'll just give it to them. It's not like I can't jump off the train and buy another one, you know what I mean? Like, they probably can't, but, if I'm able to, then I will.
Yeah.
But I always feel so fucking miserable seeing those people, God. And there was once, when I went to London to see my friend, the most stinkiest person came into the train carriage, and they did the script, but I was sitting right next to the door that they were standing in. It was that kind of smell that hits you so offensively.
Right.
Your eyes start to water. You feel your dinner coming straight up. It was so bad, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, are they not aware that they're stinky?
They're probably not aware of how bad it is.
I guess you become nose blind, right?
Yeah, they probably know there's something.
They're a bit smelly, but
yeah, they probably don't realize it's like knocking everybody out in a mile radius.
It should be illegal to smell that bad.
Yeah,
because
in a way, I'm kind of surprised it's not.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know, but I guess they jump over the little ticket barriers to get through, right?
Yeah.
Like, and also, it reminds me about your shoes, like, if you had to get onto a train with no shoes, do you think they would let you on if you didn't have any shoes?
Well, the thing is, I had no ticket, so I wouldn't be asking. I'd be sneaking on.
Say you had
They
a
would
ticket.
assume probably that I was, like, mentally ill.
Yeah. I mean, you're coming...
I'd draw attention because I have no shoes on, and I'm in a swimsuit.
But are you allowed on trains without any shoes?
I think so.
Is it like a no socks, no shoes, not entry kind of a business? I feel like in a lot of establishments, you're not allowed to go in without any shoes.
I've never seen a sign that says that I can't go barefoot.
True. Yeah, I guess maybe not.
But I mean, what else would I do if I couldn't get on the train? I'd know, like, I'd just be like, well, I guess I have to walk, like, for 10 hours until I get back home. You could probably find a sympathetic person. I mean, if you went into a charity shop, for example, and say, hey, listen, I know this sounds weird, but my clothes just got stolen off the beach. Yeah.
Can I have, like, do you have any slippers or something?
I'd be really surprised if they gave it to you, to be honest.
I wouldn't.
I feel like they are in it for the money. Those
you
charity
reckon?
shops, yeah.
No, I feel like a charity shop would be the first place I would go. Or a police station.
Yeah.
A police station, I feel like, would be more, like, understanding.
I'd still have to walk all the way to the police station in my swimsuit, like, along the side of the road with no shoes on.
I think you would be pleasantly surprised to find out how many people would just help you.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if that did happen, hopefully it doesn't happen to anyone, but if your shit got stolen and you went into a shop and said, I'm so sorry, my shit just got stolen, can I have some slippers? It's not like you're asking for, like, fucking, you know, the new Jordans and like a fucking Gucci socks. If you've said, "Oh, can I borrow some slippers or something?" to just to go to a police station, or can you call the police or something?
Yeah.
You know, people would
maybe.
be nice.
I wonder what the police would do. I feel like the police would be like, well, fuck you.
Yeah, I don't think the police will do anything.
Yeah, I think they'd be like, well, what do you want us to do?
They might, if you don't live far, they might give you a lift. Maybe.
Maybe.
If you were like, oh yeah, no, I live actually like half an hour. Can you give me a lift?
I can't imagine they would.
I think they would. Like, their job is to, like, you know, serve and protect, right?
So that doesn't mean they do it well. Have you had a lot of dealings with the police?
No.
Well,
I, as a dark-skinned gentleman, avoid the police like a fucking plague.
Well, I, as a light-skinned lady, avoid the police as well because I don't think they do a very good job. You know, their job is to solve crimes, not prevent crimes.
Yeah.
And they don't solve many crimes. They solve like 2% of the crimes or something. It's just like, what's the fucking point of you then? I've had a lot of run-ins with the police.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into them.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, but
no,
I've not found them to be very good.
The only the most recent run-in I've had with police is when I was driving home and there was two gentlemen in the middle of the road having a disagreement. They were getting physical. They were fighting each other. One guy was a taxi driver and he was claiming that his passenger was refusing to pay, and then he had destroyed something in his car and he wanted me to call the police. The passenger in question was denying all accusations and screaming. So then I had to call the police and I was like, "Hi, by the way, there's two people fighting in the fucking road. Can you come in? I don't know, do your job or something."
Some taxi drivers are fucking nuts.
Are they? I don't usually talk to taxi drivers.
I was in a taxi one time. This happened in Toronto. I was walking and I got in the first taxi I saw that had a man, that had a driver
sitting in it. Yeah,
because there was a bunch of empty ones.
Yeah,
and I guess a couple cars ahead there was another one with a driver in it, and that driver was pissed off that I wasn't in his.
Really?
So he got out, walked, and threw himself on the hood of the car.
Okay.
And started like punching the windscreen, and I was like, I'm glad I didn't end up in your car because you're crazy.
That's fucking awful.
Yeah, he was a nut job.
Oh god, that reminds me of that story of that London cab driver who would like pick up women while they'd like finished celebrating or gone out in a club, and then he would like give them drinks and like slip a Mickey in there and like fucking diddle them and then drop them back to their location. But then obviously they wouldn't remember that whole altercation. So, you know, he would get off scot-free.
Yeah.
Did you ever read or watch anything about that?
I've heard quite a few stories of like taxi drivers doing dodges.
Yeah.
And Uber drivers and stuff. They're also a bit like diddly.
I feel like there's a lot more like protection for customers these days to do with you know, that kind of aspect. I'm sure it probably still does happen on occasion, but I don't think it's as prevalent as it probably used to be.
I think you just don't hear about it.
Yeah, or it gets swept under the carpet or something.
Yeah, because no one cares. If you call the police and say, my taxi driver diddled me, they'll be like, well, that's just too bad.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have much faith in the police system.
Maybe.
As you can all probably tell, we do not have a lot of overwhelming belief in the police.
I mean, I want to.
Same.
I would like to be able to be
I wanted to be a
yeah.
police officer once upon a time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When I was younger.
Well, I'm glad you're not.
Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of my friends are glad that I am not a police officer, actually. But when I was younger, I don't know. I think you are familiar with Power Rangers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there used to be one of Power Rangers called Power Rangers SPD, right? They were police officers.
Right.
The whole gimmick was that they had a little phone and they were the police officers of the world and the universe and stuff like that. And at the time, I thought that was so fucking cool, right? I was like, oh my God, you know, police officers, they must be like the best thing in the world. They're out there saving people's lives, you know, protecting society. And I thought that was a really appealing idea, right?
Yeah.
Because in media, you know, as a child, when you watch TV, police officers are usually the good guys.
Yeah.
You know, they're out there. They're the first protocol of protection.
Yeah.
Right. So as in my young mind, I thought this is an amazing thing. And when I grew older, you know, when I finished school, I was like, oh, I'm going to go and do public services. I'm going to be, you know, I'm going to do the tests. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then reality hit me like a rotten piece of meat. It hit me so hard when I actually started looking more into policing and like, you know, that actually they're not that great.
Yeah. I also think it can be quite a difficult job.
Yeah, it can. It looks like it's stressful.
Yeah.
There's a lot of harrowing stories of being a police officer. In college, I mean, we had this seminar of safe driving. I don't know if you ever had that in your younger years.
Probably.
We had the seminar. You go in and then, you know, in the auditorium and there's people come out and go, I used to drive, but now I can't because I drunk drive this one time. And and the police officers who then have to be the ones going out to tell the parents that, yeah, by the way, your kid fucking died in a horrible car. No way. I could never do that.
Yeah. The only way I would want to be a cop would be if I'm solving murders.
No, see, going into a murder scene, that's also...
I could do that.
I couldn't. Like, the idea of going in and it's like a bloody mess and someone's been decapitated, fuck that.
Yeah, but you would be actually doing something good in the world if you solved murders.
Yeah.
Like, if you caught a serial killer and you prevented them from getting their next victim, good job.
Yeah.
But, like, I wouldn't want to be a cop who's like, I'm going to give you a speeding ticket.
Yeah.
Or, like, I see that you have a little bag of marijuana. I'm going to take that.
Yeah. See, that's what I don't understand. If someone literally has, like, a personal little baggie of weed...
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Who gives a shit?
Let them go.
Yeah. Or basically, half the shit cops do, I couldn't do that. And you don't get to pick what kind of cop you're going to be.
You're just kind of thrown in, aren't you?
Yeah.
You just kind of have to roll with the punches.
Because, you know, I actually qualify to become an officer.
Oh.
Because they have this program now that if you have a degree...
Yeah.
Of a certain level...
Okay.
You can just join.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, the fuck? Really?
And it doesn't have to be in policing. The degree can be in anything.
Oh, fuck! I didn't know that.
Yeah,
is this
new?
new?
You can join the Met, the London Met.
Oh, well, maybe that's why they're such a fucking mess, eh?
Yeah, the thing is, most of the people who have joined in this program haven't made it.
Oh,
it's something like 4%.
Really?
Because for one thing, all the people who enter through this program get paid less than the other type of cops.
Ah, okay.
And all the other cops don't like them. Because they snuck in without having to go to police school. Yeah, and then also they have to be a cop, and they're like, ew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really it's not a really glorified role. I mean, you get assaulted as well by like, people who don't like you. And, you know, I'm sure, you know, as much as I don't like or trust the police, I am sure there's probably police officers out there who do generally try their best to keep society safe, you
probably.
know?
I'm sure a lot of people join with that in mind.
Yeah, and eventually, the job just does grind you down, and you become fucking miserable, and, you know, you get called, oh, my fucking neighbor stole my cat again, and then and then it turns out, no, it's just a fucking crazy person, and they don't own any cats, and, you know, I'm sure that, like any job, if you don't enjoy it, you'll start doing shit that's not great.
Yeah, cutting corners and stuff.
Yeah. You'll do less of the stuff. And unfortunately, the police, I don't trust them because, again, it might just be a bias of it's my skin color. But generally, I mean, the last time before I had to call the police is when I was walking home and I got stopped by a police officer because I looked suspicious and someone of my description was reported to be acting suspicious. It was a fucking Sunday evening. No one was around. And I was like, bro, I'm going home from work. Like, what the fuck?
I got pulled over once because my vehicle matched someone's description. And it's like, the cop said that I had run a red light.
Right.
And I was like, but I didn't, though. Because I hadn't run a fucking red light. I'd stopped at the red light and I had seen him there.
Yeah.
And then he followed me. And then I signaled to pull off into the parking lot where my apartment was. And he pulled me over right then.
Really?
And said that my vehicle matched someone's description. It's like, it doesn't. I know you're doing something fucking weird.
Yeah. He's probably trying to,
I don't know what he was doing.
meet a
but
quota.
whatever it wasn't normal or good or right.
Yeah. But I'm guessing he did fucking let you go.
Yeah.
After being
because
a bit...
I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like,
he's got nothing on you.
Yes. Saying I ran a red light, though, when I didn't. It's like...
I have run red lights, unfortunately, have to say. I have run probably like 2 red lights.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things of, when you're driving and then your focus just kind of goes.
Sure, yeah.
And then you're driving, but you just don't even clock things.
That's probably like the leading cause of accidents.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. And tiredness as well. Like, so if anyone doesn't know, I had remember when I had my tonsils removed?
Yeah.
So beforehand, because I wouldn't sleep because my tonsils would keep me up all night, I would basically fall asleep all the time. I would just black out. And that would happen a lot when you're driving. Because when you're driving, especially on the motorway, you're just pushing your foot down. All you're doing is gas and kind of looking around every so often. But it's the most laborious task to drive on a motorway. And I do not know how truck drivers do it. I have no idea. Like, that lifestyle of going from point to A, point B for days sometimes. That's that.
Especially, though, when you've got a condition that's causing you to not sleep.
Yeah.
So you're, like, micro-sleeping at the wheel,
It's terrifying.
Yeah, and dangerous for everyone on the road, really.
You see those... I think on the motorway, I'm most terrified of being next to a truck.
Yeah. Just
in case whoever's driving decides to either look down at their phone really quickly, or they doze off and then suddenly they turn and then the whole thing tips on top of me.
Yeah, or their wheels fly off or something.
Anything.
Someone I knew as a kid, her dad died because his car, he fell asleep at the wheel and he went under the truck beside him. Yeah.
Fuck. Dude, that's terrifying.
It is. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the truck driver's fault.
No, of course, but that's still harrowing, you know. To even inadvertently kill someone must be horrible,
Also, what do you do if you're the truck driver, even if you're aware he's there?
You can't stop.
Yeah, because is he stopping?
Or, yeah.
He's asleep with his foot on the gas.
So you don't know what to do. And it's not, I guess, and also it's like, if you woke him up, if you honked, and you woke up in a fright, that could cause a lot more damage, I guess.
I feel like you don't wake up in a fright.
I mean...
Okay, I've fallen asleep at the wheel once, and that was when I had been awake for a long time, and I was driving across the country. And around 5 a.m, I felt myself, falling asleep, for a second. But, when I woke up, there was no fright. It was like, oh, God, realizing what I'm doing.
I've woken up in a fright. So, again, when I was driving, I had to go somewhere really far, and I fell asleep. And you know how in the motorway, it kind of ridges. Like, there's those plastic ridges. When you drive, it goes...
Yeah.
So I fell asleep, and I felt my car shaking, and I literally woke up, and I was like, oh my God, what's happening? And I was like, oh shit, I'm driving.
Well, that's the point of those.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going at and the thing is, because I'd fallen asleep, I was going at 80 miles per hour, and I'd completely fallen asleep on the slow side of the road. So I'm in the slow lane going 80, and I've just clocked out.
Imagine you were getting pulled over, and you were just asleep. They were like, he ran from the police.
Fucking evading arrest. Shit. Evading arrest and shit like that. Oh my God.
Yeah, no. But really you're just having a little naparoo.
It's dangerous, man. When you're driving, people, drink a coffee, do regular stops. They help, to be honest. Quick naps. Power naps. 30 minutes. That's it.
Yeah.
Fucking clock out.
I mean, just drive when you're not
tired.
Sleeping.
But when you're doing a long trip. You've done long trips on a drive before. Yeah. Sometimes you feel like, no, I can definitely keep going.
Yes.
100% keep going. You can't keep going.
Now that I'm old, I wouldn't try it.
No?
I wouldn't try a lot of the things I tried behind the wheel of a car when I was young.
Have you tried drastic things?
I thought you were going to say drugs.
No.
Have you tried drugs?
I don't think I've ever done anything, really. I drive like a fucking grandma. I'm very some people would say overly cautious when I'm driving. Like, I will always stick to the speed limit, like, regardless whether that, there's anyone around or there's speed cameras. One, because I've got a black box in my car, so I have to, or my insurance company will fucking have my head. And two, I'm just too scared.
Yeah.
I'm just a pussy.
I definitely, when I was your age, had no fear.
Really?
I would be like, how fast does the car go?
Yeah.
Pretty fast. Turns
just
out.
keep pushing it.
Yeah. I went fast. Yeah. And there's Canadian roads where you'll be on a stretch of road and there's no one there.
I mean, Canada's quite a big place.
Yeah. So you're just driving on the highway and that's when you want to see how fast the car goes.
Yeah.
And there's no speed cameras because you're in the wilderness.
No one's going to really stop you. Like,
yeah.
What the fuck are they going to do?
So I went fast.
Do you remember your first car?
Yeah.
Do you remember what you had?
I mean, I'm not that old.
I don't know when you started driving, so I don't know how many cars you've been through, so...
My first car that was mine and not my parents was called a Pontiac Sunfire.
I've heard of Pontiac brand.
Yeah, and it was not a great car. It was held together with bits of duct tape, and, like, the radio would stay on after you left the car.
Really?
Yeah, you had to remember to turn it off manually. Eventually, it got kind of, like, worse, and I'd stop at a red light, and then when it was time to go, it would go, bang!
Oh.
And then I'd drive away.
Oh. It's one of those cars that everyone stops to look at, like, should that person be driving that car?
I've had a lot of cars where they were questionable. I had one where something went wrong with the horn, and every time I would turn left, like even in a car park, it would just be like, beep, 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 beep.
Right.
And people would think I was, like, psychotically honking at them.
Beeping at people, yeah.
Yeah, but I wasn't touching it.
Shit. So how many cars have you been through? I'm currently on my second.
1, 2, 3, 4 or 5.
What's your dream car? Do you have one?
No, I don't have it. One that's reliable and not embarrassing to drive. Like, some people would be like, my dream car is a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
I'd be ashamed to be in it. I'd be like, people are looking at me.
Yeah. See, I feel like a Lamborghini, especially on these kind of English roads, fucking useless. Useless.
The last time I had a car that I really, like, wanted and wished I could have, it was a Tesla before I realized I don't want a Tesla ever.
Oh, you drove a Tesla?
No.
Oh, you wanted a Tesla?
I wanted one.
Right. What put you off getting one?
Elon Musk.
Yeah. To be honest, my dream car, I want to say electric because everything is going towards that kind of route.
Yeah.
And I also want to say automatic.
Oh, yeah.
An electric automatic car.
Automatics are the best. You know, trying to learn manual over here whilst doing a lesson, I was like, they should make cars that just do all this on their own. And it's like, they fucking do. It's an automatic car.
Yeah.
Why would this? It's like the typewriter of cars driving a manual.
But I feel like, the old adage that if you can drive an automatic, you can drive anything. No, a manual, you can drive anything.
Yeah.
The work van that I drive, it's an automatic. Fucking love that van, right?
Yeah.
Like, it is so stress-free.
Yes.
Right? Because sometimes when I get the wrong gear, my car goes, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And the fear of thinking that I've broken something because I'm in, like, gear 3 when I'm supposed to be in, like, 2 or something.
Yeah.
Or, it literally, and it's also more problems added onto the car if it breaks, right?
It's more shit to go wrong.
Yeah.
The reason I don't want to drive an automatic is because... how am I supposed to eat a sandwich and drive at the same fucking time?
Yeah.
If I have to be diddling a knob the whole time.
Yeah. And also, it's just... If you are someone who has a very hectic lifestyle and you need to get to work, but you can't have your breakfast or whatever...
Yeah.
Perfect, right? At least you can have a little something while you're driving into work, whatever.
You can brush your teeth while you're driving.
Yeah, honestly, you can do whatever. Like, I don't trust Teslas just yet.
When Teslas were first coming out, I think they were quite good cars, but I think they have gone downhill since they've lowered the price point so that, like, normal people can afford them.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't want a car that has all these fucking issues that costs still quite a bit.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
And also getting a new battery if your battery like fucking breaks or blows up or whatever.
Yeah.
So much fucking money.
Yeah.
Man.
I don't believe in electric cars. I don't believe they're the answer.
No?
No, because for one thing, there's not enough charging ports.
Nope.
They are mandating that new buildings be built with like a certain percentage of ports, but it's not enough for everyone to have an electric car.
Yeah,
nowhere
true.
near. And the batteries are terrible for the environment.
Yeah. Lithium-ion batteries are fucking shit.
Yeah.
The amount of poison they spread, and also they degrade really slowly.
Yeah.
Terribly slowly. Like, it would be just... I mean, I don't know. Electric cars are a nice idea.
Yeah, they
right?
are a nice idea.
They're a great idea. Like, save fuel. Like, don't poison the planet as much. Superb, right? Execution, not there yet.
Yeah.
Dramatically not there. As much as I want to drive an electric car, if I'm living in a rented house that doesn't have any charging ports, what the fuck do I do?
I don't know, dangle a cord out the window?
Honestly, right?
There's a Honda electric car that is so cute, though. I love it. It looks really like it's from the 80s, but modern somehow. Like, the dashboard is all, like, 1980s looking. And I would love to have that car. But yeah, where am I going to plug it in?
Yeah, honestly. And it's the kind of thing where, a lot of areas in London, of course, you have to be ULEZ compliant.
Yeah.
I'm surprised my car is fucking ULEZ compliant. So fucking old, right?
I'm surprised our car is.
Yeah, I saw your car today. It is older than mine.
Yes, it's old. It's old and rickety.
Yeah, and when I sometimes see those signs, oh no, it has to be ULEZ compliant. I'm like, what makes my car ULEZ compliant? I don't understand how it works.
Probably low fuel consumption because it's a small car. That's why ours is.
Oh,
because
really?
It doesn't consume a lot of fuel.
Yeah, I mean, my car's not massive, but also, it doesn't seem like a car that should even be on the road sometimes. Like, if you were driving my car, you'd be like, yeah, no, this thing should not be on the fucking road.
Yeah,
like,
well, take a spin in mine.
But no, I don't know. Like, the future of automobiles is very unsure and very rocky, I feel.
Yeah, I don't think that electric is necessarily the answer. If I was in the market to buy a new car, I would probably try a hybrid.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
They're nice hybrids, but they're so fucking expensive.
Everything's expensive.
God, we are too grown up. Man, no one told me when I grow up I would have to fucking deal with so much shit.
No, and I mean, if things keep going the way they are, I'm going to have a second job where I sell drugs.
What else can you do?
Yeah, I mean...
Sell drugs or yourself, one of those.
I feel like I'd be good at selling drugs.
Yeah.
I'd do it on the dark web.
Yeah, true. I mean, and use a VPN. You know what would be a great VPN to use? I heard NordVPN is quite good.
Sponsor us, Nord.
Just putting it out there, I
feel like if we actually got them as a sponsor, we wouldn't be allowed to talk about drugs. We'd have to be like, we use it for Netflix.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The podcast that I listen to, they talk about a number of things that are not child friendly.
Which podcast is that?
That is the Triforce podcast,
right?
Run by Yogscast. They talk about so many things, from prison jugging, stabbings, and all these things.
What's a prison jugging?
You don't know what jugging is?
No.
Oh, okay. So I learned this on the Triforce podcast, and they learned it from someone else. So jugging is when, well, it's kind of self-explanatory, is when you get a jug full of scalding hot water,
right,
and you fucking jug someone.
Okay, yeah,
and
right. I thought it was about making Pruno, like prison wine.
No, and a lot of people apparently in the jugging community.
The jugging community.
A lot of people will pour sugar.
Yes.
To
make it good.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just like
pouring
warming
water
someone.
on them. Yeah.
You're like giving them a hot shower.
Yeah. You basically pour sugar and then you jug them, like when they're not expecting it.
I would put sugar and I would put it in piss, hot piss.
Effective.
Yeah,
you
and
smell
worse. Yeah,
sticky.
and it's stuck to you.
Yeah. awful. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
That's a punishment.
that would be ultimate punishment.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's not easy to get your hands on specific items in prisons, especially if it's like a high maximum like security. Getting yourself a jug would be quite difficult.
I don't know, because they're allowed to have objects.
Yeah, but like if it's something like glass that you can break.
Well, you wouldn't have a glass
yeah,
jug. That'd
but
be
even
crazy.
a metal jug would still be.
You'd have a plastic jug.
Yeah. Again, still you can make a shiv out of that. Human
But
bodies
you can
are
make
quite
a shit
soft.
out of anything they have.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
can.
they have things like toothbrushes, which they make a
Are
shank out of
often
that.
turned into shivs. Prison's terrible.
I mean, it depends on the prison.
No, I still wouldn't want to. You know who I hope is having a really shit time in prison?
Who?
That Lucy Letby nurse.
Yes.
I hope. I haven't heard anything about her until since she went to prison. I hope she's having daily beatings. I hope that she's having the worst time ever.
I bet she's in seg.
What's
I bet
that?
she's in
Oh,
segregation.
Yeah, oh, she would have to be.
So she's probably not getting beatings.
Oh, I really...
But...
you know what? Even if the police officers went in there and gave her a quick beating...
Yeah, you know, a moderate beating.
Yeah, you know? Like, she deserves it.
Yeah.
I feel like out of everyone in the world, she deserves a beating.
I feel like eventually someone will be like, oops, we left the door open.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
It's a
Lucy
Jeffrey
Letby
Epstein
has
situation.
A concussion.
If no one knows who Lucy Letby is, she killed babies.
Yes, she was a nurse. It's often nurses.
It is. The last one who killed loads of babies was also a nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was a baby, there was a nurse going around giving babies HIV.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Why?
And I was in the hospital at that time.
Bro, what the actual fuck is wrong with people?
And I remember hearing about it and then being like, oh, I've got the HIV. Luckily I didn't.
The fear,
thankfully.
though.
Yes,
like,
because when I was a kid, I had a bit of the hypochondria.
Yeah.
You know, I was a bit like when flesh-eating disease became a thing, I was like, well, I can't leave the house.
I have not heard of that.
What flesh-eating disease?
What is that?
You get a little
scrape.
scrape.
It sounds self-explanatory, but still.
it is.
Yeah.
You get a little cut, and then it's basically like a staph infection times a billion, and it eats your flesh away.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
Staph, I think. Staph infections.
Oh, so it just evolved from, I guess.
think it's like a mega staph infection, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. If you
quote
want
me.
a well-researched podcast,
don't
you
come
are
to the
barking up
theories.
the wrong tree here.
But no, I've not had... diseases are quite interesting. I don't know... Where the fuck did the bubonic plague even go? How did it even get cured?
Well, I think it's because it can be treated with antibiotics.
Right, so I guess with the invention of antibiotics,
Yeah.
Because you hear about where it started, how it started, the amount of people have killed, but they never tell you where the fuck it went. It just kind of boop.
Yeah,
It was gone.
it's pretty easy to treat with antibiotics. The only thing
Nowadays,
is, like,
yeah.
obviously we got those resistant bugs.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what will happen with that.
I hear somewhere in the world there's a lab with just loads of fucking diseases. Have you ever heard of that?
Probably.
Yeah,
because they're
there's
probably
probably
doing research on them.
Yeah, there's probably multiple labs of just diseases.
I mean, the conspiracy people would be like there was one in Wuhan and it let out COVID. But I mean, I don't know if I believe that.
COVID, yeah. No, I don't know. It's so easy to fall into a rabbit hole of conspiracy theories.
Yes,
really.
and my thoughts on conspiracy theories is some of them are true, but they get lumped in, and I mean, the government wants them lumped in with the crazy dumb shit so that it just discredits all of them.
Yeah.
Even though some of them probably are legit.
Like, if you can mix anything, if you're a government official and you can mix anything into flat earthers, immediately becomes redundant.
Yes, yeah.
Or like, you just have this really important thing and then you find in flat earth and be like, oh, also, this is the reason why the government is hiding because of flat earth. This horrible secret. And they're like, oh my God, really? Yeah. And then you spread it in flat earth community and people are like, what? That's stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or like anything, if there's like some group of people protesting and they just interview the dumb one there.
Yeah.
Who
they pick them out.
Yeah. there was some protests over like money in Toronto. Like we're going back like 15 years, and the news interviewed some of the protesters. But, like the protesters were dumb as shit. The ones they interviewed anyway. So it's like, well, now you all just sound like a bunch of like idiots.
They probably cut out the actual people who know what the fuck they're talking about, right?
I think it was intentional.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where, you know, they will probably find someone who's got a fucking head on their shoulders, and they're like, yeah, this is genuinely why, and it's a problem because of this.
Yeah,
and then
instead
they're like,
they get the one who's like, well,
and then, you know, the news and, you know, the corporations that deal with they're like, no, that's too smart, that's too logical. No, fucking cut it out.
Yeah, because
Let's get that guy
they want them to look stupid.
Let's get that guy who looks like a fucking wizard to talk about it.
And, the one who's smoking drugs.
Yeah,
get him.
And then people would just be like, oh, another nutcase.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a shame, really, because, you know, I would like, again, like police officers, I would like to have faith in news media, but God, I feel like they just lie all the time. Well,
they're owned by
someone.
Like, some are owned by, in Canada, I don't know about here, but in Canada, some of the news places are owned by General Electric.
Right.
And they make most of the stuff for going to war.
Oh, really? So they're the kind of head honchos of...
Yeah, they make things... They will have the news present war in a positive light.
Right. Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh.
I learned that when I was in university.
What did you do at uni?
Illustration, and I did graphic design.
I wanted to go to uni, but then I realized that there's not... The thing is, I can still go to uni, but it's just... There's one, nothing I want to learn, really.
Yeah.
And two, the cost of everything.
Yeah.
Like, I can't have a full-time job and also drive and also, you know, go to uni.
Yeah.
And...
a lot of times uni's a waste of fucking time anyway.
Yeah, which I've realized with a lot of my friends who have now finished uni. And I'm like, oh, you know, you got your uni degree and this thing and that thing and that thing, but somehow you're a full-time employee at, like, fucking Sainsbury's.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
I did a master's degree in graphic design.
Mm-hmm.
I could use the degree. I don't really like graphic design. That's the biggest thing I learned. I don't really want to do that.
No. Why is that? Because you're good at art.
Yeah, but graphic design isn't really art.
It's
very much layouts, font, you know, which typeface you're going to put where. Making sure everything is on brand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if there's a brand, everything's going to be the exact color, the exact this, the exact... And
okay.
Although it's effective and it is a big part of making things visually appealing, it's boring. It's
to
boring.
be honest, like, you know, your skills of doing that things do shine when comes to, like, you know, our Instagram. Follow that, please. It does, you know, like, the way you've done it.
Yeah, I did learn some stuff.
Yeah,
I did learn some stuff.
It's quite eye-appealing, you know?
Yeah, and it does apply to other aspects of my life, but I didn't really need to get a master's degree.
No, it felt like something you could have learnt outside of that.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to go to university if you want to do graphic design. You just need a good portfolio. The thing is, university might help you get that portfolio made.
I feel like that goes a lot with a lot of arty kind of things.
Yeah.
Like, you know, being an architecture, for example, architect, you know, I feel like you'd need quite a good portfolio. Yeah. You couldn't just pick that up.
And I feel like with an architect, you do need to go, because you need to learn how to measure a house out. You can't just be like, I drew it and it looks great.
Yeah.
Like, you have to know if it's going to be solid, if it's going to stand up to a gust of wind.
Yeah. This is, you know what? I'm really shit. I love, you've played The Sims before.
I actually haven't.
Have you not?
I've only viewed other people playing.
Dude, I fucking love The Sims so much. So I've recently started playing The Sims. I fucking love The Sims. A lot of people find it they find fun in, like, making your sim rather than, like, actually playing the game. Because the game just, you know, you're just watching your Sims do shit, right? Live their life. But I want, you know, I've got a vision of what I want a house to look like. To actually spend hours. I've seen people spending hours making a house and shit. I can't do that for ass, bro.
Nah, it's not for me.
I don't... And this is why I think architects are really amazing because of, when they build grand designs of like, spires that fucking touch the heavens. And I'm like, how the fuck did you do that?
Yeah, and I'm assuming that they have to make it so that it can actually be built.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a lot of things they have to consider, like, how the sunlight, especially if it's made out of glass, how the sun will affect, the reflections.
Yeah, there have been buildings where the glass set other things on fire.
Yes, like that that bendy building in London. I forget what it's called.
Is it the Gherkin?
No.
The one that looks like a phone.
Yeah. It looks like a giant space heater, basically.
Yeah.
There was that summer where it was like burning the cars opposite.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something you have to take into consideration. And now in summer they cover that shit up with like giant blankets because, obviously it burns things.
Yeah.
It becomes a focused laser.
Yeah, it's like a death laser.
Yeah, it's a death beam in London.
Where do you live? I live in the death laser.
The Gherkin. Is it just office buildings?
I don't know. I don't know what's in any of those buildings. I do know the one that you're talking about, though, has a viewing deck on top that's free, and it's apparently better than the London Eye.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been on the London Eye once, ever.
Me too, and it was shit.
It was not that great.
Yeah, it wasn't worth the money. It was like 45 quid or something.
You know how I got the tickets for the London Eye? So when I was a paper boy back in the day, sometimes papers have like little free tickets. I don't know if you ever read the paper.
No.
But sometimes they would have little, collect 10 of these and you get a ticket for this thing. So I got London Eye tickets by collecting I think I collected 5 of these specific things, and then I had to hand them in to I had to send them through mail, and then they sent me 2 tickets back. So I went, it was me and my friend, we went there and we went to the London Eye, and then we were in the London Eye and I was just like, oh, this is underwhelming.
It's really slow. I feel like it could go about 4 times as fast as it does.
Yeah, and you'd still get the same visuals.
Yes, the same view of a city that's relatively flat.
Yes.
We do have a listener question.
Shoot.
Okay, so now I know this name is pronounced Siobhan, even though it looks like Sioban.
Okay.
Siobhan asks, am I a terrible person if I would eat my dog at the first sign of famine? No. I'm going to go with no. The first sign of famine.
All right. I feel like if you eat your dog at the first sign of famine, you just want to eat your dog regardless.
You've been dying to eat that dog.
Yeah. You've raised that dog
ready.
and you've plumped it up.
Yeah.
Just to fucking eat it.
Yeah.
If it was the first sign of famine, which then you knew was going to lead into full-blown famine, then no.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really any different from eating any other animal.
Yeah. Siobhan, listen. If you think your dog looks tasty, I wouldn't advertise that you are going to eat it.
No, because someone else will be like, famine, I'm going to eat it too.
Yeah, right? But I feel like if you're not a bad person. No.
First sign, I don't know. Because you've specified here that it's the first sign of famine, I do have to wonder about you a little. But if it was obviously famine, people are starving.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, it's no different than eating a cow.
Then go off. No, I don't think anyone's going to judge you at that point.
Oh, they'll judge you. They'll judge you.
You reckon? If people are starving...
So it's like early.
Early
days.
If it's early signs, then people will judge you. I would say plump the dog up, but leave him.
You can't plump the dog up if it's a famine.
But canned dog food, right? There's loads of canned dog food. I guess you could eat the dog food first, right? Yeah. Okay, eat the dog food first. And if the famine really does become bad and there's no more dog, cat food or tinned foods, maybe start eyeing up your dog for a good barbecue.
Yeah.
I think then you're not a bad person.
I have to say, I probably wouldn't eat my cat.
Your cat's quite small, though.
Yeah, he's not got a lot of meat.
No.
And also, I really like the cat. So it would be a real problem. I'd have to be like, I'm going to die.
You would eat me before you eat your cat in a desert island.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but yes, I would.
We have spoken about this before, and we all know that Pennygrit would 100% probably eat me first.
Well, the cat's a baby.
Yeah, but, you know, I feel like we could share it on the cat.
The cat has his whole life ahead of it.
To close up the question, you're not a bad person if the famine is bad, but in the first sign of a famine, you're just weird and you want to eat your dog.
Yeah.
If you're going to eat your dog with or without famine, maybe make it look like an accident, right? Put up.
Yeah, but you're still eating it.
Yeah, but like if you don't tell your friends and you want to eat a bit of dog, you know, no one's gonna question it. You'd be like, oh no, my dog's gone missing. No one's gonna ask you any questions.
I would do that before I'd make it look like an accident.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the dog fell down the stairs and now I'm eating it because that's the logical thing.
And also, you could just be like, oh, I buried my dog. And who's gonna be like, oh, well, actually, exhume your dog. Let's bury him up to see that you actually buried your dog.
Yeah, I need to check that you didn't eat it.
Yeah, you might have fucking eating it, you fucking weirdo.
Your breath smells like dog.
But yeah, thank you for the question. Thank you, everyone.
We appreciate you. And we appreciate you for listening. Thank you so much. You may have noticed there was no new episode last week. We did announce on the Instagram that we're going to a fortnightly schedule. That's every 2 weeks. We're just going to try that out for a while. So we hope we'll see you every 2 weeks. We hope you will rate us 5 stars on whatever platform you're listening on. If you leave us a funny 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or an amusing comment on our YouTube channel, we might read it on the show.
Yes, sir.
Also, if you have a little query you'd like to ask us, you can directly ask us through our website. There's a contact form on there. It's thequerydearies.com. Or you can go right through Spotify. The app has a question asking feature. You can follow us on all the major social media networks, and you can see images that correspond with the episode on Instagram. Thanks again for listening.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
That's it. Bye. Bye.